This is a second stimulus check and stimulus package update for Saturday, May 23rd. Thanks for tuning in. This is LALATE. As always, like and subscribe to this channel and drop your comments below, and we may feature them in tomorrow's recording. And you will be answering your incredible 16 questions from Friday's taping. But first, the news. The week did not turn out as originally envisioned, but Saturday got actually worse. Several channels on Saturday started to engage in further clickbait, suggesting to you that the Republicans had rolled over and agreed to virtually everything the Democrats had proposed to them. Not true. In fact, there is no indication that that's actually happening. Several channels started to indicate to you that $4,000 was coming to you as a check, that you were going to be receiving the extension of PUA benefits starting next week into 2020, that hazard pay was on the table. All this sort of conjecture and silliness with a taint of sign up for my Weibo account and get some insurance, life insurance from me. Awful. The truth of the matter is the following. The current status is the following. A bill was approved by the House and sent to the Senate, where the Senate Republicans said they're not going to approve it. They're never going to approve it, and they have no intentions of approving it. The parts of it that they are most disapproving of are anything that put money in the hands of you, the individual. LA has been very vocal about it. There are different ways to deal with the pandemic, but when it comes to Republicans in the Senate, they are clear about one thing. They don't want money to go in the hands of citizens. They don't like the word welfare, and they use it all the time. Their concern is the following, and this is where they use their catchphrase, welfare state. They claim a second stimulus check of $1,200, $2,000, or several months of $2,000 would create a welfare state. They claim an extension of PUA benefits into 2020 would create a welfare state. They claim that additional hazard pay or $13 an hour to be provided to people that work in a hazardous environment going forward would create a welfare state. They claim that anyone that works for Uber or Lyft is classified as independent contractor, but allegedly should have been an employee and entitled to more money, namely $2,500, which is what some Democrats believe, and a California lawsuit alleges. Republicans say that would create a welfare state. All these seem to create a welfare state. You know what doesn't create a welfare state? An extension of the PPP loan program for billionaires. Marco Rubio out of Florida, a Republican, on Friday proposed an extension so that big businesses, millionaires, could have months, many, many months, to take their time repaying back to the federal government their multi-million-dollar PPP loans. Charming. You know what also doesn't create a welfare state? Giving liability insurance to billionaire businesses worried that they're going to get sued when they open their doors to you, the employees, or you, the public, when people come in after the pandemic lockdowns are lifted. It's quite disconcerting, and there we are, that people are using you as a welfare state coin term when you're not, and yet when your hands are in need of help, they're not giving it to you. It's been a consistent theme in the last 2 weeks, and LA is quite concerned. We had thought that you were at least going to get a $1,200 check. I mean, that was what the original CARES Act called for. It called for two $1,200 checks. You got one, because the final draft of the version gave only one. Then there was talk of a $2,000 check. Many of the viewers of this channel said $2,000 would work. Most of you thought several $2,000 checks would work. And then there's this strange thing that Republicans seem to do. They claim that they don't have enough evidence. What evidence do they need? They claim there's not enough financial documents to support the state of the state of the economy. Really? The U.S. economy has the second worst unemployment rate in the world currently. You can't see that, Republicans? They claim that they don't know how long this is going to go on. Really? In fact, Friday, the president himself said there's a second pandemic coming. But when asked about how he would deal with a second pandemic, his response was he's never going to close down any part of the government or the United States ever again, and that he doesn't intend to give any more money to people ever again. It's a consistent theme. And then there was this. Several channels, in fact, that same clickbait channel on Friday told you you're going to get a $4,000 check. Not true. In fact, it again was those same people that talk about a welfare state that wants you to go back to college. And when you have some income in the future, they'll give you a $4,000 write-off because you went back to college and spent money on a college. Isn't that charming? When you need money, they want you to go spend money, and then after you spend it, they'll give you some money back. $4,000 of it, which is barely even a semester at a college. It's quite disconcerting. In fact, it got worse today, and here comes LALATE's rant. Today, one member of the House of Representatives was trending online. In fact, if you went on Saturday on Twitter and typed in the word Pottery Barn, you saw it trending nationally. The reason why? Because one member of the House thought it was more of value to the U.S. citizens for him to slam Pottery Barn on the number of hours it's open to conduct business in a local mall than to figure out how to get money into the hands of his taxpayers in his local jurisdiction that are impacted and need a stimulus check. It's quite disconcerting that in times of a pandemic, that members of both parties are doing less for you and spending more time talking about stuff like Pottery Barn and what hours he can get a bruschetta copper pan out, and that he's worried he can't go there at 7 o'clock and he wants to go there and he has to go there at 4 o'clock. It's quite disconcerting. In fact, another clickbait channel, well, actually, no, I take that back, the same clickbait channel, on Saturday told you that one member of the Senate was spending less time on the HEROES or CARES Act and instead had proposed a TikTok bill, a bill to prohibit certain type of TikTok activity. Also untrue, the bill was proposed May 15th. Not this week. So there you go. You have channels telling you incorrect information. You have members of both parties doing nothing or little or anything for you. And you have senators or congressmen worried more about your education, calling you unqualified, calling you a welfare state, or telling you that they want to demand Pottery Barn to be open longer hours. It's a lot of people doing much of nothing while working in federal government and collecting a nice pension. It's quite disconcerting. So let's get to the 16 questions that you have and comments about the stimulus check, and I want to hear what you have to say about this. Oz would say, I'm missing so many video uploads from you, LALATE, and I check only once a day, so I hit the bell notifications. Great point. And we don't say it enough, sorry. Please hit the bell notifications for our channel. When you do, you will get alerted when there are video uploads. Robert Henson, thank you so much. Well, thank you, Robert. Tony Kitchen, do you think there'll be a second check? If it will come direct deposit. I don't want a debit card. Tony, first of all, don't worry about debit cards. Debit cards, always you're allowed to, one, do a transfer from the debit card into your bank account. It doesn't cost any money. And two, you can go to your local bank and withdraw the funds. There's no problem with it. Debit cards sound scary. They aren't. They're fun. They are your friend. I think there will be a second stimulus check. I think this is going to drag on, and people are going to say, hang it like it's a piece of cake for everyone, like they did some great favor to everyone. It'll probably show up in August or some ridiculous late date, and I think it'll be de minimis. I think it's going to be $1,200. Andrew Wu, I think they need to abolish the government if they won't cooperate with the people of the USA. Well said, Andrew. Leanne, hey, LALATE again. Also, extremely insensitive, more appropriate term. I won't use it here. Someone like me who owns their own business does not have COVID. I was recently diagnosed with a condition. Yes, government, all the packers, decision packers. I'm hearing between the lines is all protected by PUA. I have COVID. I have stress, a lot of financial stress. A good thing that I believe in healthy mindset and laws of attraction. Happy face. Well, thank you for the laws of attraction. Ricardo Hall. You did again, LALATE. Well, thank you, Ricardo. Shaw Sophistication. I have not received the first one, and I'm not sure I whether do. Yes, you will. Please track it on the government's website. We've detailed it before. Heartfelt Music. He's back. Yes. Well, thank you, Heartfelt. LOR Reds. You have to understand that you can't pay people more than they made before. They will never go back to work. I completely agree it should be extended, but not as much. Republicans are for more stimulus payments, just as our president is. I love your videos. They're great and very helpful. Well said. Very well said. Andrew Wu, I'm voting Democrat this year. This Republicans are ruining the people. Andrew, very good comment, but a lot of people on both sides are doing a hot mess, They're just doing nothing. All they're doing is collecting their pension. If you have comments, which I know you do, to today's second stimulus and stimulus package update, drop them below. Click that bell button and subscribe and drop your comments by Sunday, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we'll feature them in Sunday's recording. As always, stay with LA for more.